to warm you up. Next song is called Careless, and having your heart broken is a rite of passage. That doesn't make it any easier, but at least some things aren't love, they're lessons in how you won't tolerate being loved in the future. So, to anyone who broke your heart ever, kindly, fuck you. My next song is going to be my next single that I put out, and it's very politically charged in these absolutely delulu times we're living in. You all always will be worthy of love and safety, and from the plough to the stars to the river to sea, I see you, I love you.
Invitation game, operation means speed. Algorithm, making sure your eyes don't see it. for the Metal Fourth with Babymetal.
誇りやかし探しな取り話し言葉巧みこぞり一人二人踊りのろしかかしリアルフェイク語り錆びた鎖幻ここで踊らにゃいつ踊るメタリメタリ Sonisphere, Babymetal's face changed forever. Every time we played in the UK, you always welcomed us because of your love and support. We could believe in our journey. Thank you so much for your continuous faith in Babymetal. We look forward to seeing you all again.
After the UK and Europe, your next destination is America.
What fate awaits Babymetal next? Only the Fox God knows.
So, Babymetal. This was actually my second time seeing Babymetal. The first time was back in 2020 when they performed at the Eventum Apollo in London, and that vlog is up on my channel if you wanted to go and see that. Despite the Eventum Apollo being a significantly smaller venue, I actually think my view at the O2 Arena was better this time, and definitely the whole production of the show was way bigger and way better because it was in an arena, and it was absolutely insane. It was so good. I'm pretty certain Babymetal did go to London at some point in between 2020 and 2025. It was either 2022 or 2023 because I was living in South Korea when they did that London concert, which is why I wasn't able to go, and that is also why I was so glad when they announced this concert, because I was really sad on missing out on that concert while I was living abroad. So the fact that they then did one when I came back to England was very, very exciting and very special. And yeah, this concert, I don't even know how to describe it in words. It was absolutely incredible. The fact that they did a much longer set list than they normally do. We got a unreleased song that they've not ever performed before, so we were the first audience, the first people to ever hear that song and see it performed live. They also performed IDZ, which was not part of the set list. They didn't perform it on any of the other concerts on this tour. They did it exclusively for our London show, which was very, very special. The girl sat near me who had a Wolf-chan keyring, fellow stay, I see you. I was not brave enough to actually talk to her though, but she absolutely burst into tears and was sobbing all throughout that song, and honestly, same. I managed to keep it together during the concert, but internally that was how I felt. Let me give you a quick merch haul. I did show you a video, but just to talk you through what I got. You've seen the t-shirt. I can't show you the t-shirt right now because I wore it on the second day when I came home from London, so it is currently in the wash. Today is the day after I got back, by the way. I got the fan because I actually collect fans, and my plan was to get the fan and then I could take pictures with the fan when I went back to the O2 Arena for the concert, but then I forgot to take the fan with me back to the O2 Arena, so I never got pictures with it, but I did get the fan because it's really nice, and that's what the fan looks like. The only other merch I got is the poster, which I've yet to unravel and look at, just because this thing cost £40, which is like low-key ridiculous for a poster, but also this poster is absolutely stunning. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous, so like despite the price I had to get it. I want to be very careful. I don't want to risk creasing it. But yeah, that's the poster. It's absolutely, like, it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. I would have loved to get the foil one, but that one was £60, which I can only just about justify £40 for one. Not £60, not £60. Okay, that is a little bit damaged there, probably from when I dropped it on the floor in the bathroom. We're just gonna ignore that, pretend we do not see. Do I actually have anywhere on my walls to put this? No, I don't. It can go with the heap of other posters that I have and don't have any room for, but hey, it was worth it. That's all the official merch I got. The only other stuff I have is this sticker and this sticker, which I think is a design for their concert in Spain. This keychain, which is really cute, and I'm pretty certain I saw the person who made these on Twitter. But those are all freebies that were just left out in the pop-up store for people to take. So that's where I got these from. I'm pretty certain I saw the person giving these out on Twitter. Do I follow them? I don't know. I'll have to find them and follow them because I got one of their keyrings. Other than that, I've got my photo booth pictures from the O2 Blue Room, and I also got confetti because there was so much confetti it literally flew out all the way to my section, and I was able to get a bunch of it, and we all know I am a confetti hauler, so I have that. And that is everything that I got the day of the concert. The only other purchase that I made on that trip was I went into Smith's at Waterloo Station right before I came home, and they had this magazine, which is the latest magazine that Babymetal are on the cover for, and I really wanted to get this because back when I went to their 2020 concert, they also released a magazine that they were on the cover for, but it was back when it was only Moa and Momo-metal, and I did get that magazine, and it is somewhere in my pile of magazines over there. So I thought, since I got that magazine when I went to the last concert, I thought, why not get the magazine that's out during the time that I went to this concert, especially since it has all three of them. And also when I saw Babymetal the first time in 2020, Momo wasn't an official member of the group. She was part of the Avenger team, but she was actually the one who performed at the London concert. So both times I've seen Babymetal, it has been with Momo, which is really fun. I love her a lot, and I love all three of them a lot, and I just love Babymetal, guys. The concert was so much fun. The atmosphere at the O2 that day, both days that I went, it was full of heavy metal, Babymetal fans. Everyone was dressed up in the coolest, cutest outfits, and the vibes were just absolutely immaculate, and I just had the most incredible time. I had so much fun. Oh, and I must talk about the support acts. We had Bambi Thug and we had Poppy, both of which I knew hardly anything about. Bambi, I just knew that they were on Eurovision the year that I didn't watch it. Poppy, I just knew they had the song with Babymetal. I am now the world's #1 fan of Bambi Thug. I genuinely fell in love during Bambi Thug's performance. You guys don't understand. When I say I fell in love, I really mean I fell in love. Poppy, I wasn't as into, but I still really, really enjoyed her and her performances. Both of them insanely talented, really, really cool. And it's definitely getting me more into the heavy metal scene, because I will admit now I am a bit of a fake heavy metal fan, because Babymetal are literally the only heavy metal group that I listen to. Outside of that, I don't really know anything about it. Poppy and Bambi are actually convincing me to change that, and I might broaden my horizons when it comes to the metal genre of music a little bit. And that pretty much sums up my experience of seeing Babymetal in London at the O2 Arena. It was insane. It was amazing. I'm running out of adjectives to describe it, but just know that it was good and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I really hope they come back. They are insane performers. They are absolutely incredible. You can tell they've been doing this for 15 years. So they always blow me away. They always do. And yeah, absolutely incredible. I had so much fun. And that was my vlog of seeing Babymetal in London. I hope you guys enjoyed. My next vlog is another trip to London, because literally the day after this is being posted, I'm going back to London less than a week later, and I believe I'm gonna attempt to post 2 vlogs for the trip, depending on what footage I get. The first vlog will be seeing How to Train Your Dragon, the new live action movie that's coming out, because I've actually been invited by Universal Pictures to go to an exclusive screening of the movie ahead of its release. So that is what I'm going to be doing the first day that I'm in London. It's at a special 360 cinema, and I honestly hardly have any information. There is a chance the cast could be there, but I have no idea what's going to happen. All I know is that I get to go to London to see the How to Train Your Dragon movie before it's out in the cinema, and to be invited to an event like that is just, it's so exciting. This is one of the most exciting things that's ever happened to me. I literally just before filming this have just rewatched the first How to Train Your Dragon movie in preparation to see the live action, and yeah, I'm beyond excited, and I'm hoping that I get enough footage at that screening to make it its own vlog. So that'll be the first video, and then the second one is another concert, because next week I am going to see the Living Tombstone. I'm so excited. I've never seen the Living Tombstone live before. I don't actually think they've ever come to the UK before. This is probably their first concert in the UK. I'm so excited. Also a little bit terrified because I'm in standing. At least it's not the standing pit at Babymetal. Would never survive the standing pit at Babymetal. Oh no, 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 no. And that will also be one of the next vlogs on my channel. So if you want to know when that comes out, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see Babymetal content, go and check out my last Babymetal concert vlog back in 2020. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, comment down below if you were at the London concert, what did you think, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye.